Here we are. Dan, you mind just giving me a little shout here?
Talking.
All right, go ahead again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you look good.
Okay.
Okay, yeah, it looks like we're at the
Yeah.
same level.
All
Um,
right. Good. Sounds good.
okay, what's going on, man?
Not much. I've uh, I've just been transitioning from poker back to school to a bunch of different things, and haven't really been playing much, but still been studying. Been trying to get into the MDA streets a little bit. That's been fun.
What's MDA again?
Mass database analysis.
Oh, right.
It's
So
all of the population tendency, look for leaks and lines that you can exploit.
I'm actually happy to hear that you're getting into that because I know just how like just how deep into the to the GTO you were getting.
Yeah, I've done a complete 180.
Yeah.
That's been fun. Yeah.
So so how have your games been going, before like your study break and whatnot?
It was going okay. I was on a pretty break-even-ish stretch towards the end, but yeah.
I mean, I
Yeah.
my games have been going just terrible and it seems like nobody can tell me why, you know?
I've seen you were posting some stats and some stuff, but it seemed normal enough.
I mean, I'm either oh my god, why is my dog barking? Hold on.
No worries.
All right. He doesn't even know what he's barking at.
I mean, you're
So,
in a pretty tough pool to begin with, so it's not gonna be easy. I mean, when I just started getting into MDA, like I said, and one of the first things I did is I got myself an 8 million hand database to go through. And
yeah.
the pool that I picked to start with was 25 NL reg tables on ACR actually. And so far there hasn't been anything too glaring
Right.
as really, really out of whack, although I'm just getting started. So it's definitely not gonna be an easy pool.
Dan, you sound like a little staticky to me.
Staticky?
Yeah, like let me just make sure it's not like on my end. I'm just gonna listen to something real quick.
It's time to
Yeah.
get outdoors.
Yeah, it's like your mic's a little staticky. So.
That's strange. I've had some Wi-Fi connection issues recently, so it could be something like
Oh, it
that,
sounds
but
fine.
it's
It
been
sounds fine
better.
to you. All right. I can says it sounds fine. All right, maybe it's just on my end. Um
Strange.
so yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's not like I'm losing a little bit. Like I'm losing massively, like biggest oh, thanks, man. Like biggest fish in the pool losing.
I
Like
mean,
it's
over the 18,000 hand sample I now have on you, you're up. You're winning at like 5 bigs per hundred
really.
or something like that. I think I can double check.
You
No,
have that many
3.9, but
you have that
still.
how do you have that many hands on me?
For some MDA work, I purchased 8 million hands of ACR 25 NL, of which you've played 18,000.
Man, that's got to be old, man. I mean, over the last 100,000
Um,
hands, even maybe like the last 120,000 hands, I'm losing pretty big.
Yeah, but most of that was 50 and out blitz, right? From what I saw,
Yeah.
so I don't have that sample.
Oh, you have it from 25?
Yeah, exclusively 25.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So I mean, it's like frustrating anytime you're doing just terrible and you like question everything you know. But like even Tombo joined a stream. Like I think he was in one for like almost the entire duration. And he was like, I saw almost no like glaring errors in your play. So I mean, and then pretty much like I don't know, man. Like other streamers really don't want, like Weasel, right? Like Weasel, let's be honest, Weasel's not the best player in the world. He knows that, admittedly, but he's pretty
I
good.
like how we're trashing Weasel while
No,
he's
we're, no,
streaming.
we're
Not
not.
sure.
No, but we're. Listen, we're not trashing him. I think he's a little bit better than a break-even player, right? But that's a break-even player
Fair.
while
I think-
streaming, right? While streaming and interacting with 150 people in chat. His chat is ridiculous. You know, like if you look at like Komodo's like chat compared to Weasel's, it's much calmer. You know, like Weasel has a lot
Well,
going
Weasel's
on.
much more of a personality, right? So
Right.
he's just gonna bring that up.
Yeah, so I mean, he's losing a significant amount of big blinds by interacting with chat, you know? So like, you know, I think overall he's a winning player, but I think obviously anytime you stream, you're giving up something, you know? So,
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, it's just also really difficult to be a winning poker player in the first place, right?
yeah.
I mean, you have to beat the rake, and that is substantial. Even if you're just playing solid, that's not always going to be enough depending on the pool.
Yeah. I'm curious how many more people would be winning players if you played in a game with no rake. Like let's say 50 NL, no rake. Let's say 10% of the population is winning, right? If there was no rake, what do you think that jumps up to? Like 30%? Like how many people are losing to the
I
rake?
mean, if there's no rake, it's just straight up a zero-sum game, right? So unless you have some really big winners in the pool, I'd suspect it would be half the population, right? Because you're going to have some pretty massive losers.
I guess. I don't know though. Because you're assuming like all like because you said zero sum, but I have to imagine that 50% sounds interesting though. But I just have to imagine
I mean, it
that
would
like
be 50% assuming that people are like matching their win rates compared to the fish's losing rates, right?
Yeah.
That kind of sounds as a strange way to say it. But so unless you have bigger winners than you have bigger losers,
yeah.
it should be that much, yeah.
Yeah. All right, so what I don't want to get too complicated today. Like I said, you know, kind of in a weird place right now with poker.
Gotta bring
know?
that confidence back up.
Yeah, for sure. So I think I want to just stick to like I haven't really messed around with the trainer. Like maybe 10 minutes, you know, like as you know, I just moved into a house. Like when I say just moved in, it's been a month, but we still have shit in boxes, you know, like so I mean, when you work, wife works, it's hard to get everything done, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to just look at like some of these spots, like maybe some 3-bet pot stuff. Maybe we'll do some single raise stuff, but I don't want to do like blind on blind again. I left that interaction with you more confused about poker than ever I think I was in my life.
That is a tough spot.
Yeah. So I like put in some like custom settings here. We're gonna start on the flop because you know pre-flop play, do that on your own. You don't really need to focus on that.
Sure.
I'm gonna put us to 500 general just because it should make the ranges a little bit more interesting.
Sounds good.
And then boards will just allow anything to come. So I mean, we could always take out monotones, but whatever, we'll leave them in. And then
Why
for the
not? Monotone boards are fun.
yeah, and then I don't know what all of this is going to be, so we'll see if it's too much and if it is, then we'll eliminate some of it. You want to get started?
Sure, yeah, I haven't had much of a chance to take a look at the trainer yet either because I don't have an active subscription at the moment. I do most of my stuff in Pio. So I just do
Yeah.
like 10 hands a day or so.
Right. Well, if someone's not signed up for what's up, Bold Move? If you're not signed up for GTO Wizard and you're interested, just there's a link there. Get 10% off your first purchase. All right, so yeah, let's get started. We'll be the hero. I think you should first change limit to 50 NL. Okay. Oh, we're gonna do 500 today because Bold Move. When I first started, so here's something. I think I've kind of said this to Dan before, or whatever, or I've said it on stream before. But when I first started, even at 10 NL, when I was started the bankroll with $100, I was using 500 NL ranges all the way up until I got up to 100 NL. And there was a point in time before I started getting coaching from Komodo where I knew I was doing certain things wrong in GTO, right? Like, let's say like betting a flush draw on the end after it missed, right? Like I was giving up some equity in certain spots for balance, right? And you know, there's in some ways it's okay to like give up certain things, right? Like playing 50 and L right now, right? It really limits. It's really going to limit the like our play here and our thought process here because it's going to really narrow the ranges. So, you know, and then the other thing with that is, and I'm kind of thinking about this too, is like, do I want to go back to 500 NL ranges? You know, like because when I look at my stats, right, consistently still over like my 120,000 hands, my entire samples, my losses from the blinds, like my big blind losses have always been between like 30 and 40 big blinds per 100, which is really good. You know, so like my out of position play is solid. And then the question is, you know, what am I doing wrong in position? Like, am I value betting too thin? Am I, you know, not giving up on bluffs when I should? So, I don't know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
just to add on to that, I think in all honesty, people put too much emphasis on pre-flop ranges. I mean, even today, particularly if you have a HUD, there are so many exploits you can be making pre-flop. I think it's just more important to get the general tendencies of a spot and the way the spot plays because of the ranges in play than actually know exactly how it plays at the specific pre-flop ranges.
Yeah.
Because they're just so variable.
All right, so let's start in this spot. This is a spot that I'm somewhat familiar with. Hijack versus button and 3-bet pots. More so in position. But I think we should still be fine. All right, let's see
Sounds
what we
good.
get. Why does the cutoff have cards? All right, I messed this up already. Try the trainer again. Oh, what am I doing? The
Oh
same.
wait, hang on. Can you share your screen with me on the Discord call? Because I'm
Oh, I'm
currently
sorry.
watching on Twitch, but it's a little bit delayed.
Yeah, of course. I thought I would have done that already.
Yeah, I didn't notice it until now either because I was watching the Twitch stream on the side. But then you were talking about the board and I didn't see that yet, so I figured
Okay,
something was up.
that's better, right?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay. All right, well, obviously out of position here should be checking range, I believe.
Oh, so we're doing cutoff versus hijack?
I don't know. I want to go back, but
Cutoff versus hijack's fine. We can do that.
yeah, it is fine. But what? How do I? Not good if I don't know how to use the software.
They
All right.
did make a few substantial UI changes recently, so can't
Yeah.
really blame you.
All right, so checking here. Oh, why is it? Oh, it's not playing the whole hand. Playing just
It's
the
on the
flop.
specific spot mode somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No. I'd like for this to stay open. I did this the other day, but the other day was like a month ago. So,
I think they actually haven't done another update since a month ago.
okay.
So,
How do I get out of here?
is there any way for you to, I don't know, is there,
Where is Tombo when you need him? Jesus Christ.
hang on, we can figure this out. If you maybe just get out of practice mode in its entirety and see if you can go back into practice mode.
How do I get out?
Study maybe? Click on study and see if that just pulls you out. Yeah, anything.
That doesn't.
Right. Oh no, not glossary. We didn't want a new tab. Since when do they even have a glossary?
Okay. Start building.
But now we're on range building.
All right, you know what? Let's try starting
So
over.
sure, that sounds good.
All right, trainer. Let's try again. Okay. So I thought this is where it was going to keep us, but okay, custom spot. There we go. Let's do hijack button. This should work better. And then the flop. All right, advanced. 5 general. Board, hands, moves, play. Okay. Everything is kind of how I had it before. Right? This looks good, right? This isn't going to just be on the flop, is it?
Custom spot. No, that's is it play the whole hand? Yeah, is there a button for that somewhere?
It says starting spot. The starting spot would
all right,
be
then let's
here.
give it a shot.
All right, let's see what we got. All right, see, I really
Fingers
like this.
crossed.
This is honestly, this is like right here. Like I have to go like this. This is all of this right here. Like all of this is my favorite part that they've added. Like being able to check out the ranges here and like see how they interact. Like all of this, the combos, all of it being like right in your face in real time. I think is great.
Very good board for button, obviously.
Yeah, checking range. How
Yeah.
do I there away? I wanted to show result.
No specific spot, right? Oh wait, hang on. On the left, you see game mode, full hand, single spot.
Full hand, yeah.
On the left control panel. Yeah, maybe that does it.
Yeah, that's it for sure. Frequency, actions, mistakes. Okay. Oh, yeah, show after each action. Okay, that should be it right there. Right?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, that should be good.
Checking
No
range.
dunking range on paired boards.
Maybe an annoying check call spot.
I'm considering a raise too. Although, hang on, are we? Yeah.
So this is the EV for the imposition player here, right?
Well, he's
Yes.
just bet, right? So
Yeah.
after he bets, his EV is much stronger until we call and condense our range.
I think, I don't know. This is probably mostly a fold, but sometimes calling.
I don't. Oh, I don't think we ever fold this, but I'd mix raise call.
The only thing I want to know that I'm not familiar with here is, you know how we used to be able to like go to see the actions for the whole range?
Oh, like yeah.
All right, we'll figure it out as we go. All right, so pretty close to mostly a fold, some raising. So
Yeah.
half the time folds, and then calling 30% and raising 20. So
I mean, it's a three-way indifference point, but versus a player in game, it's kind of what I try to think about all the time now since I'm working more in MTA. Is there any line that would overperform?
I think raise probably does usually, but
I think raise does overperform here as well. You're going to get a lot of folds from a lot of dominating hands. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if people peel ace king, ace queen as much as they should to a raise there. Definitely ace king.
Okay, the only thing I'm curious about is just how we would see the whole thing. I mean, this is obviously the fold. I checked, and then this, this is simple spot,
No
but
question.
okay.
Yeah.
Checking here. This is pretty much 3 blank cards. So checking.
Probably some ace four suited in range potentially, but yeah, never any donking on paired boards.
This should mostly be a call.
Could
You agree?
you already fold this ever
No, I don't think we can fold this
versus
ever.
half in these positions? We're never raising.
Might be raising some, but
Uh, I don't think so. We're in too early position. If it was in the later positions and nines was stronger, I think raising is definitely a possibility. But here there are just way too many overpairs in buttons range. I don't think we can raise.
we do get
Oh,
some
we can
raises.
raise.
You know what, dude? I really, really need to figure out how to I am gonna call here. Damn, how do I see it? Figure
Oh,
session.
study this spot. Hang on, the hat
Where are you looking?
next to your mouse. No. Back all the way on the left. The graduation.
Ah, you're the man. There we go. Okay,
That's the one.
so it's always some frequency, and then tens is split, jacks is split, queens.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
can never fold any overpairs to the board here. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair
And I
enough.
like finding some of these ace 10, ace queen, ace jack stuff. And
Yeah.
ace 5 is more or less intuitive if you kind of understand. And then this is the
Plus
stuff.
a gut shot.
Yeah, and this is the stuff people are missing a lot is some of this deuce deuce here. And then if you see like the response to the raise, like how much calling there's supposed to be, and then like
It's gonna be wide.
yeah, like
Yeah.
like ace jack does this, you know, like when you start eliminating this stuff, going to allow us to do this wider. And then you have stuff like
Yeah.
this, queen 10 peeling, queen 9 peeling, you know, all of this stuff peeling, then it allows us to get a lot more nuts because people just aren't peeling this enough. Like all
That's
in
also
here.
my suspicion for why I think ace 10 would overperform as a raise. Because
Yeah.
7-7-6, it's not the same. It's going to be similar. He's probably not going to defend quite as wide with those overcards.
Yeah.
But we're still going to fold. I suspect we do fold out in practice hands like ace king.
Yeah.
That should never fold.
I mean, look
right?
at this.
When we raise on 7-7-6.
Like I get this as a smaller frequency, right? But look at like king queen off calls half the time. King jack raises when it continues. Ace jack continues. Ace queen continues. You know, like ace queen off. So like, you know, even these lower frequencies, like you start eliminating those, it allows us to start going a little more nuts.
Yeah, for sure.
Queens should be a very good card for in position, and I think we'll probably have to fold to another bet. I don't think we get any calls here with this hand.
On a queen. Yeah, I can get behind folding. It might be indifferent. It might be a mix.
Yeah,
Call,
you're right.
fold. Yeah.
Let's see where the bottom of this is. All right, so we'll change move. We'll continue this time just to continue with the hand. And I don't see how we can call another bet.
Well, we're not really going to hit the queen all that much. We have some combos of ace queen suited, some combos of king queen suited with a backdoor flush draw, but that's about it, right?
Yeah, I mean, just
so
look.
In terms of,
just look at how much we have to call with all of this middle stuff, like 50% of the time.
Yeah, it's good.
This.
We're just very, very capped.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, we have some queen X, but for the most part, it's just under pairs to the board that are our strongest hands. You could probably barrel jacks for value as in position here because it's not like we have that much queen X. Maybe not. Maybe jacks would need to go smaller if you want to barrel that, but
even tens can go for it.
Tens can go for it. Yeah, it's just
look at how good look at how much betting he gets to do. This is almost range bet on the queen.
It's very common that those overcards, when they connect a lot with the c-betting range, get barreled a lot. That's a common thing, both in position and out of position.
And look at this. Look at how much calling you're supposed to do here. I think in game though, I think just folding by this point, like I mean,
I do actually prefer folding turn. Not only that, but a lot of his turn barrels. It's hard for him to over barrel that spot to begin with, but a lot of his barrels are going to be air balls.
yeah,
And I don't think it's intuitive to a lot of players which air balls to give up. And because of that, I think River's going to get over barreled, and then nines just doesn't become a profitable turn call anymore. Right? Because if he barrels River too often, we don't get to realize our equity with nines as easily, so folding turn is better.
yeah. I mean, this is almost. You could probably just continue this turn with range, right? Except for like obviously like these middling pairs, right? So basically everything that is betting majority of the time. So let's say we're betting 90% of the time instead of 88% of the time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and then obviously what it gives up with isn't like obviously it feels bad to kind of give up here on the end with most of this, but let's just do it. It's weird that like ace 9 prefers to bet ace 8.
Prefers to bet over what?
Like the Broadway cards.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be some blocker thing.
Yeah.
I guess ace X blocks ace 4, ace queen, if there's some little amount of that in range left.
Yeah.
Something like that. But yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I mean. I don't think it's going to be intuitive for people to be finding those river give ups with, king jack after they barrel the turn, or
So
king 10 after they barrel the turn.
So you think if you have an aggressive opponent here that we should be doing more calling is what you're saying?
I think we should be folding turn versus population because of that. Because the thing is, right, when you have a marginal hand,
Yeah.
and somebody is over barreling future streets, the EV of calling goes down because you're going to call to fold the future streets too often since you're going to get barreled on too often.
Yeah.
So if he barrels river too much, the EV of calling nines in the turn is lesser. So yeah, I bet pool just triples if they're going to continue with the queen.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to get at, right?
So
if that is the case, then calling nines is a punt.
No, but why is it a punt? Because then what we're assuming is that he's over bluffing on the river now, right? Because like if let's say he bets all of this, what he's supposed to bet here, right? And now he's still betting all of this. He's supposed to check. Now he's over bluffing. Now here's the only problem though, right? Because I said, I didn't really think I was going to bet all these aces here, right? So maybe I bet all of this, but I give up all of this, and now I've just shifted, my betting
barreling frequency is appropriate. It's just the wrong combos.
Right.
It's possible.
All right, let's move on to the next one.
It's all just a bunch of assumptions to try to take a guess at what line is better. That's what I hope to accomplish with MTA, not have those assumptions and just know.
Yeah. Do we get leads here?
I doubt it. It's not quite connective enough. Maybe some low frequency.
I'm going to check for a 4. Low frequency. I think anything under 5% we can just ignore.
Yeah, I think that's pretty safe. Some very low frequency. There you go.
Okay, so the 10, like this board's increasingly good for us. I imagine we have a lot of bets here after check. I mean, the EV has shifted in our direction. Equity is in our favor. All of these things, suggest that we bet now. Probably for a big size. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure.
All right, small size. Everything betting with a small size? Just take a look. All right, well, that's going.
I would suspect because out of all hands that want to build out a big bet, it's kind of 5s, 10, 9, those few hands.
It's kind of mixed between the two here.
Mainly small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think if we just went 33%, we can probably get close to a pure C bet, pure bet on this board. Because this is getting pretty close anyway. So if our strat here was to go small. Alright, so get raised. I don't think tens checks all that much on this board from in position. So this raise doesn't concern me terribly.
Well, this isn't this is 500 NL, right? Not 50. So one
Yeah.
difference is going to be that hijack's going to be flatting more jacks, some queens in these positions, which I don't think they do at 50. So tens is a bit less of an attractive bet on the flop. I'm not sure if tens would always bet the flop as in position, although I do think it will bet maybe half the time,
Mm-hmm.
I'd guess.
Do you think we jam here always?
We're out of position.
Well, tens checks more than I thought.
Yeah, half the time roughly. It's also the difference in ranges, right? If you looked at it in 50, tens would be betting more often on the flop because it's beat less by the queens jacks. That's going to be 4 betting pre from hijack's position at least.
All right, so what are you doing here? Because I think like
Yeah,
gonna,
I suppose just jamming.
yeah, because I mean it almost feels like we're gonna want to jam things like 9-8 here, or you know, I don't know, other two pairs. I don't know. It feels like we have to jam. I don't know. I just feel like I have to jam.
It's just because you're out of position, right? And if not, in position is going to be able to realize equity very efficiently.
Yeah. So it's always,
if you're not playing a 3-bet range here or a donk range on the river.
Yeah, it's pretty much always a call. I mean,
Interesting.
See, and then the 8 comes, of course. I run bad even in practice.
On the 8 river, do we play a donk?
I don't think so, but what do I know? So 7 jams.
What was the exact board again? Out of curiosity.
It's right here. 9, 7, 5, 10.
9, 7, 5, 10, 8. Right. Okay.
Yeah. So obviously 7s is raising here. 9s is splitting. 10s is always raising. So what the fuck is the reasoning?
Is there some distinction that? Because my original suspicion was that button would be no. Never mind. I was wrong with that anyway. I'm just looking at the buttons range.
I guess. Okay, whatever. Do you think we lead? You think we lead here sometimes?
Just looking at the board, I mean, we're gonna have a decent amount of 9-8. We're gonna have but a jack makes a straight here.
Yeah, I think we check and then check call.
All right, check. Yeah.
Yeah, I think we kind of just.
Jack makes a straight.
I don't know. I feel like this is just a side call. Like, is this ever a spot where we just call with the straight here? I mean, it mixes
versus population I mean, we unblock bluffs, we unblock value, and we don't beat any value. So 0 EV bluff catcher. Yeah, check fold. I think versus pool, I agree. I prefer a check fold, even though it's going to be 0 EV at equilibrium. Right, because the blockers don't shift anything here. It's completely neutral. It's just a question of if in position is over bluffing or under bluffing.
Yeah. So we lead some of the straights here. And then
on the river.
Yeah, then our only bluff is like 5-4.
It's also a pretty low frequency for a 10% size.
Yeah.
That could just be due to accuracy. It's very difficult to completely remove the 10% size.
I don't really use
trees unless you have a bunch of raise sizes.
I don't really use bold move thinks it's a check fold. Yeah, in game,
I can get behind that for sure.
Yeah,
I
I
think
think
in
I-
game I would absolutely check fold.
I think I tend to agree. Let me just check this one more time. Let's go to showdown. Doesn't matter. 86. So, I mean, just the straights, and then everything else calls. Nines is indifferent. Eights is indifferent.
Well, he's only value betting straights, right?
Yeah,
And he's never bluffing any hand with a 5, an 8, or a 9. He's never bluffing those pairs.
yeah. But he is.
So
There are some bluffs here, like he needs to bluff his diamonds, which I think
no, that's
people
why I'm saying that 5s, 8s, and 9s are entirely
Yeah.
0 EV because they don't block any bluffs or any value. Because he has no straights with a 5, an 8, or a 9.
Yeah. I mean, this king queen here again. Are you finding this on the turn? Probably not. So we probably don't get to the river with this. Again, king queen, probably not. So probably an under bluff spot. Ace king. I think some people may find this, but not enough to justify a call. So yeah, I think fold is probably fine.
I think my suspicion is also just everything is under bluffed until proven wrong.
Yeah.
So that's how I lean at least.
All right, so. All right, the only thing I want to change here is it seems like we've always been the out of position player, right?
Yes.
All right. Well, we've only played a few hands. Let's try a few more. That king high board, always checking, and then probably check call. This board, 3 should be checking. If he does bet, this 3s here is just a fold, but 3s with a spade probably does some raising.
So there's always a fold. We do have a backdoor straight draw. We have an ability to turn an open ender.
I think we need the
Or
spade.
not an open ender, but, sorry, ability to turn a gut shot.
Yeah, I think we need the spade. Yeah, there it is. So,
Yeah.
so 3s with the spade here does get a decent amount of raises. Do make sure you're finding that if you're listening. And then obviously, for whatever reason, it tends to go down as the pair goes up, but it has to do, more so with like unblocking. So I do like finding this at about a 50% frequency. I'm not always too concerned here with the other side card, so I do like finding that a little extra. All right, so check fold. Easy game. Yeah, I think I have this locked for us being out of position. How do I change that?
No clue.
All right, let's try this. We'll do this one more time. Trainer, custom spot. Oh, you know why? I make it. How do I do it? How do I do it? I want to play both. Do you see anything?
That is one disadvantage of Wizards' newest trainer update. It is definitely more powerful, but it's also much more complicated.
Yeah, for sure. Like we
It's a
definitely need to
trade-off.
spend some time just figuring it out. Advanced settings. Okay. Game. Got you. Boom. General. But I want to study both spots.
Under hands, maybe? Is there any? No.
I think
What
this is
about modes? Hang on.
low RNG. RNG mode off. Low RNG. High RNG. What do you think that
That's
is?
just if it's going to test if you accurately hit the correct action depending on the RNG.
Okay.
Wow.
Let's try that. We'll just leave it in there. play.
Oh, well, if you're saying it is low RNG, oh god, you're screwing with my head. Okay. Whatever. Lord knows I don't RNG low.
So for high RNG, that would be aggression.
High action is aggressive, yeah.
Okay, so we could leave that.
Oh, it says alternate positions on. Yeah, so it should be alternating positions.
Where?
It said that at the top of the thing when you were on advanced settings.
Okay. Oh no! Where'd it go?
Now it disappeared. It didn't say that.
Oh no! All right, hold on. There's always a way. Restart. Okay.
Oh,
Advanced
boy.
settings. Oh, it's on. Okay. Maybe we just flipped a coin and got a low probability.
Okay.
All right. Everything looks good, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
All right. Well, let's try it. No, still out of position. All right. Leads? Maybe?
976. I'd say not quite, but it's close.
98, it probably is.
Oh yeah, but are you really finding that 5% lead? Maybe on 976, it's actually a decent board for us, but I wouldn't quite find it here.
There it is.
How much?
Well, range is 34%.
34%.
and then-
Okay, yeah.
I wonder if this plays as a check raise. There's going to be a bunch of. So, anyone that's new here, I'm going to show this spot just in simple, really quick. Just this is something I tend to emphasize because I think it's a really important concept. If we don't allow for leads here, then what's going to happen is the betting frequency is going to go way down. So this is almost a pure check back after out of position doesn't lead here, and this is really important to know, and it is a stat that maybe you should think about putting into your HUD, because this board goes from we bet 50% of the time to we almost check range, and checking range here would probably be a prudent strategy. So just, it's one of those things that I kind of emphasize on stream because I feel like people don't, like, they look at the solve and they go, oh, okay, I bet here 50% of the time, but in reality, maybe you never do, or mostly don't, right? Because Dan's very good at GTO. I think he's better than me, and he wasn't finding a lead here. Right, so
not on 976. If it was a bit more connected, maybe.
Yeah, so
it would have been close, honestly. It's generally those low boards where suited connectors interact decently well, and the 7-6 does count. So
yeah.
Yeah.
So I think for the 98, we'll take a lead, and we already looked at the answers. So, and we get raised here, and I can't see us putting in a 3-bet with this hand. Feels like suicide.
I can't see it either. It's also it's a set blocker, this 6, that isn't particularly relevant because in 500 NL general 6s is almost a pure flat on the button. So the 6 blocking pocket 6s isn't super relevant. I think I'd rather 3-bet something that blocks an actual set he can have, like blocks 9s, 9-8 or 7-8 to block 7s.
Yeah, pure call. Yeah, 9-8. 9-8's a good one. Well, this is a double.
Oh, 9-8 specifically.
Yeah, but
the combo draw. That makes sense.
It is finding it with the diamonds and the clubs, so still good. All right, pure call.
Somewhat.
I don't think we lead ever, but this is definitely going to be a check for a 3.
On a turn 6, I don't think we lead ever either. Yeah.
Yeah, range is checking. Are we going to want to jam this just because some of our combo draws are going to want to jam?
I suspect suspect not. Most of our combo draws probably re-raise flop.
Okay. 33 I think is a call. Nope. Always jamming.
Pure jam.
Okay.
I was gonna suggest a bunch of dunks on a lot of rivers if we didn't play the jam, but interesting.
Got called and no results. Um,
How much of a
no.
jamming range do we play versus that?
It's pretty much just 6-5 and 10.
Oh well, that's very specific.
Yeah. All right.
Interesting.
Never leading on a king high board.
Of course not. He's range betting. There's no sense in leading if he's just gonna stick in more money for us.
Should be a call, but not always. Is it? Always
Already
a call?
don't love it, but I would call. You're already not enough though.
Yeah. All right. We're gonna just
Yeah.
see where that line
EV
is.
call, but it's always a call.
Checking again. Just want to see where that line is. 10s is pretty much that line. Like 9s,
Yeah.
you have to find some of it. I'm really not finding the 7s or the 6s here. You know.
Yeah, it's also one of those more interesting spots where the blockers aren't quite as relevant and the linear strength of our pocket pairs matters more, right?
Yeah.
Because if he's range betting, then he's going to have all of these middling pocket pairs in his C betting range. So having 10s over 6s is actually a pretty substantial difference.
Yeah, 6s here are very interesting. Finding this or 5s probably not as much because of ace 5.
It's going to be something to do with the
Okay.
backdoor straight draw here as
Okay.
well.
Yeah. Okay. And then should be, would this go check check? I think this is still a check, even though our equity goes up here. I mean, this could be a block 10%, but again, I'm not really playing that strategy. So if it's not using 35, then I'm not really doing it.
I think it's actually pretty close.
I'm gonna check here. Okay. Yeah, this is just to me.
Yeah.
Check check, and I guess we win.
Yeah.
All right, we're still out of position.
Check.
Yeah, check fold, easy game.
Well, he might not see bet range here. He shouldn't see bet range on this flop.
7-6. We might have leads there, right?
A7-6? No, I don't think so. Not on an ace high board. That's just not going to be.
No, okay. Maybe I'm thinking single raise pots.
Even then, it usually needs to be low end connected and hits those suited connectors well. The 7-6 isn't going to be good enough when he hits a bunch of top pair.
Right.
That connectivity doesn't quite cut it.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Getting
Check
a
the
little.
history. You don't always win. You always win in that line. What is he checking down? That beats tens. I suspect even jacks, queens will have value bet either turn or river.
What was there? How did it play out?
It went c bet flop,
Yeah.
check check turn, check check river. That is absolutely always a win.
Yeah, I'm gonna say it's always a win. I guess it could be jacks. Old move, you might be correct. All right, let's go. We're gonna just check and then. Hold on,
I think jacks will either value bet for history. Wait, why are we playing this again?
I wanted to see what came. This one check check, right?
Yes, it did.
All right, and then I think
Check check on river as well.
Yeah, just wanted to. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I think it played out the way it was supposed to. So check here. And then, yeah, jacks is the only thing that we lose to.
Is there some jacks in range? Okay, there's some very low frequency of jacks in range.
Yeah, that's it.
Fine. fine. You lose sometimes. All right, bold move. You got us.
Okay, so checking. I think we're gonna
Yeah, no
check.
dunking range.
I think we're gonna check raise this a
Love this
decent.
as a check raise candidate.
Yeah, I think abusing this as a check raise is gonna be nice because we have a decent amount of backdoors here. We block some of his stronger hands, being kings and queens. Yeah, 8-7, 9-8 might play a little nicer as check raises, but I do like finding this.
I think I'd rather check raise this over a7.
So indifferent here, but is finding it. 8-7 and 9-8 pure fold. Okay.
Yeah.
I against my initial thought, but okay. So we'll
I mean, you
raise.
have a backdoor straight draw, sure, but it's not like it's a good one, or most of them aren't particularly good. They're going to be dominated sometimes.
Do you think we always continue on this card?
What was the action? Oh,
We raised. I mean, this is one of the best cards for us. The question is, do like we check jam? Do we jam ourselves?
can we just jam this ourselves?
Do we small bet here? I'm really not sure. Jamming
I've
feels.
never studied this line, but I do intuitively. I prefer a jam.
It feels like if we
although
jam
with
though.
king, exactly hearts.
It feels like if we jam, like in practice, it's almost like I'm turning my hand face up. I kind of want to bet small here.
I don't really want to jam king queen of hearts specifically. I'd rather jam other king queen combos.
I'm going to bet small here. All right,
Is
50.
it playing a jamming range? And if so, does this hand ever get in there?
So this hand's not in there. It's actually a mistake. But it does it does go 50% here. So I wasn't terribly far off. Right?
Yeah, 50 is relatively geometric. That seems like a normal size.
All right, let's see what range is doing. So yeah, it's choosing 50% more than anything else. So 50% is probably the right size here. And then king, queen. The other king, queens are probably being set up for triples. I imagine if we miss here, this is going to be a pure give up. We check, and yeah, there's a spot. So I imagine the other missed like ace queens, king queens are going to be betting like at a 50% frequency, and then this was like just a pure give up. So yeah, 50%, 50%. For whatever reason, some of the ace queen with the hearts does bet, but it's about 50%. So, you know, it's kind of shitty, Dan. Like when you see like, I haven't played, I'm really not studying as much, but I'm getting like spots like this pretty correct. It kind of sucks, you know?
It does. Yeah.
All right. You know what I would like to do? I would like to do like single raise pots, button versus big blind.
Sure.
But play out of position and just see like find as many check raises as we can.
Okay, well, you're asking me the right question because I check raise anything. Any two, always a profitable check raise.
Okay. So let's try to find as many check raises as we can. Let's try this again.
Kind of the idea of red line thinking, right? You look at all of your possible lines, and the first one that pops into your head is, but what if I raise?
Yeah.
It's always the first thought in your mind, or mine at least.
Okay. Oh, you know what?
And then I
This is
wonder how to punt off so many stacks.
all right. Hold on, let me go back because this is starting us from. This is actually starting us from the flop leading decision, but I don't want one of. I want to have already checked. Check. Do we want to play against a 33%? Let's play against a 33% bet.
Oh, you're going specifically versus C-bet. Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to start here already and then see where it takes us.
Noted.
Okay. Is it okay if I just like rifle through folds?
Oh, I was gonna say raise.
Probably never.
Playing this as a raise?
Yeah. Or close to never.
9-8. Oh, you could.
I'm gonna call. Call. Leads? No.
No, I don't suspect so.
I don't think we bluff here, and then I think this is gonna fall into a check range. Don't suspect.
Yeah, I don't think you can quite value bet
I don't
this.
think we're really gonna want to have like a blocking range here. I'm not sure.
Oh, we're definitely gonna want to have a blocking range there, 100%.
All right, I'm checking though. So we do check. Oh, we do have a fairly decent
Yeah.
blocking range.
I don't think we can block with this hand, but we want a huge blocking range, yes.
Uh.
In these lines, we just have a ton of weak ace-x that wants to block.
It's just
It's
because
very, very common. There might be no lines in the bet check line, right? When they see bet, we call check turn. I think almost every single board will have a blocking range there.
yeah.
You just have so much marginal value.
Yeah, my thought
That wants
process
to-
was that we had so many flushes now, right? And we had so much ace x that, you know, I thought we could kind of just use like a bigger bet here and then, you know, maybe squeeze in more bluffs, right? Because if we look at like Button's range, right, like a lot of this ace x, I'm surprised ace 5 is checking. This is not happening in game, you know? So like ace 5 is a pure check here. So I think they're going to wind up on the like ace king, same thing, ace queen. Look at how much checking it's doing. I think
Well, this isn't a great turn for their range, but yeah.
no, it's definitely not, but I think people are going to tend to over barrel, especially these stronger aces.
Even then, how does that change your river strategy? You think you're going to be able to
I think you're going to be able to bet.
overbet ace deuce for value?
No, not overbet, but I
that's
think
getting a tad thin.
I think you're going to get like a 75% bet instead of these block bets.
It's possible. I'd just simplify my strategy on the river to play a split between. I'd use 30 and 120.
Okay. Yeah,
I just use that split there.
I definitely multi-barrel here. And then, all right, yeah, this should be...
Don't think you can... Oh, versus overbet?
Yeah.
Fold.
Yeah.
Fold.
Let's see if
As much as I want to bluff raise it, fold.
It's a losing call. Let's just
Well, it's not a losing call. It's just not solved down all the way, right? But
yeah. All right, let's just see against the 60% if we have a call. I suspect we
I'd still fold.
don't. Yeah, 50%. Yeah.
60.
Yeah. This is going to be almost always a check raise for me.
Jack 10 versus small bet, ace king 7. I do like having this. Yeah, I like the spade. There's also some aspect of the spade backdoor flush draw is going to be superior to the heart backdoor flush draw here because the heart backdoor flush draw can be dominated by ace x of hearts. So I do prefer check raising the spade to a heart. I'd rather have the jack of spades. I'd still check raise this super often, if not always.
We may not want to have the heart here, just because button may check back more of his hearts. I am gonna look at this when
Oh,
I
that is also, but this is an equilibrium thing, right? Because in
yeah,
this sim, he's gonna have so few small bets on this flop. It's mainly just gonna be playing overbet or check, right?
true,
So
true,
when I
true.
see this small bet, I kind of liken that to people who will simplify this flop as a range bet for small, which is fine. But right, like at equilibrium, this is gonna be like a 1% range,
Yeah. Uh,
or super narrow at least. Maybe not 1%, but you get the idea.
yeah. It's weird that we get this spot, right? I mean,
Yeah, like
he's
2.6%. There you go. It's at equilibrium. It's pretty much just overbet or check. That's the issue.
yeah. So the question is, can we get funky here? And the answer is not really. But I think if we do come across this bet, I think raising often is good. Let's just see. I just want to see what the strategy is. Yeah, so we rather not have the no. It doesn't care. Okay.
It's
Oh,
also
actually,
a
it
weird
prefers.
spot because it's
Yeah,
looking at this versus a small bet that's almost never used, right?
yeah,
Like if you see this in your games, it's a pretty safe bet. That villain is just range betting as a simplification,
yeah.
which is going to change things substantially.
I just want to see what happens here. Oh, it still gives overbets. Okay. I wasn't sure
There
if
you
the
go.
simple did. Okay. We'll just continue for funsies. Get called. For 6, this is gonna check. Gonna mostly check. I just want to get us through this because we're off of equilibrium. Then we're gonna probably
Well, we're
just
not off per se, but it's a low frequency line. It's not going to be very,
yeah.
yeah. I do like the turn check though. We have to have a fair few give ups there, and just having the heart isn't great. So I think solid give up.
All right, finding the bottom of the calling range here is it's hard sometimes on these boards. I don't think this falls into it. But my question is like if we had a
I think we need
suited
to continue this.
if we had a suited
I
combo
just,
here. Oh, you think this is a
Mhm.
call? All right, I'll go
I
call.
think this is a call. We can turn enough open into straight draws.
It
Ah,
folds,
slightly losing.
folds.
Yeah, if we have a backdoor flush draw, there's no way we can ever
Yeah,
fold.
yeah. So here it
But
is. Yeah. So like this is where like I was kind of raising an eyebrow because we need the back
yeah,
door. But like I was, like finding the bottom here is a little hard, right? Like
without
kings.
a fold, we have two overcards the second pair. We can
Yeah.
turn so many back, so many open-ended straight draws. We really fold that? Okay.
But I think this is more interesting, right? Like the king 6 gets to continue. And I think continuing with this hand for a raise is probably going to be my preferred way. Okay.
Well, king six of spades also has the significant advantage that it's never dominated by ace x of spades.
Right.
Right, while king six of hearts can be dominated by ace x of hearts.
Okay.
Because there's the ace of spades on the board.
Got it. And then
So that is
finding all of this, like the middling pairs, not too crazy, right, with the backdoor stuff, but definitely like the ace 6 of the 8 6 of clubs, right, is going to be a little harder for me to find, like the 7 6 of clubs. So make sure I'm finding those. The 8 7, yeah, no problem. Obviously, bottom 2. But make sure you're not overdoing this, guys. This is pretty common. Like bottom 2 is about 50% of the time. Usually top and bottom is less, times less than this. All right, next hand. So king 6, huh? Oh, we called, but whatever. We'll check and we'll fold
you
on
can
next
always go
turn.
next hand if you want to.
Where is that option?
Top left. Or we can check this down and try to win because the solver never has it. No.
Next hand.
All right.
All right. Surprising. No, I think this just falls too medium to ever raise here.
I also don't like raising because our two pair, like if we do hit our two pair, we're dominant or we're crushed by Jack 10, right? So it's better to raise top pairs that have a clean two pair out.
There
than
it
this.
is. There it is. There is some
How
of
is this
this.
raising?
There is some of
What?
this. Yeah, there is some of this. Like king 10, there is some of this. You need to be finding some of this.
King 9, seriously?
Yeah, even king
Oh my
5. Look,
god.
king 5, king 4. Like this is a high enough
Yeah, but that's
like
the point I was making about the two pair thing. I'd rather raise king 5 because my outs
right.
to two pair is cleaner than the
Yeah.
9.
But
So I
this
would
is
have found some low frequency raise with king 5. I'm not finding it with king 9.
yeah. But this is like for everyone watching right now, this is I guarantee you're not finding this, right? Which means you're not check raising enough, right? Even like a hand like ace deuce here, I'm not finding this. I was never even considering this. Ace deuce here, like threes and deuces,
Ace
I'm not
deuce
really thinking
and
about this
two bishops.
in these spots, but I should be like ace 3, ace deuce. What the fuck? How am I supposed to find this?
It's the backdoor nut flush draw. Overcard.
I guess.
Eh.
But no ace 4, ace 3. I mean, obviously, this always has to do with the blockers, but whatever. Yeah, I mean, just finding some of this. I know we're supposed to find some of this, when we're feeling frisky. And then
I'm always feeling frisky.
but then it always becomes a check. Let's take the raise here, and then hopefully get called. All right, we do get called. I think this is always a check now. Like I don't think we ever continue these types of hands now.
No way.
Like I think
No way.
like
Please.
all the king 5, all the king 9, all this stuff. I think this is all checks, and it's
All
not.
of your marginal king X has to
It's
check.
not. It's so
What
crazy.
do you mean
it's not.
What
It's
line
so
is this taking?
crazy. It's so crazy. It's not. Even king 5 is still finding a bet. Look at this. There's some fucking
Why?
overbets.
Is this some type of mergey bet where we're trying to just own draws and give up river?
I don't know, dude. I want to see what this.
Like, do we fold out better and get called by a bunch of draws? Does he fold king 10, king jack here?
He folds king 10, not king jack.
So we do fold better
But what?
and get called by worse. So it's some type of merge.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna
Oh, that
bet.
is strange.
I'm gonna bet like 50% here.
Sure, 50's fine. Although, Lord knows I have no idea what I'm doing with this line anymore.
I love betting 50% because then it's like, yeah, I really don't know what I want to do here, so I'm just gonna pick this medium size.
Okay, this has to check.
I agree. It's still all right. When it's 10%, I'm just ignoring it, not really using that in my strat.
I don't even think this can 10% block. Oh,
I think this has to call. A lot of stuff
this
missed.
doesn't have to call.
Oh, well, I think having the 9 here is going to be superior to having the jack and the 10 at this point.
I agree, but I'd rather just have king 5 again, which apparently we barrel.
You might be right.
So we do have in this line.
I'm going to call this. All right,
Alright,
it is a call. And it's sometimes a shove, which is fucking crazy.
this is a. What's the EV on a call 9? Wow, huge. What kind of a line is this?
It is a huge, yeah. Okay, hold on here. So bet, and what do king 5? Kind of the same deal. King 7.
Yeah, but I'd rather call it king 5. Oh my god, seriously? This is such a strange line. Hang on. King Queen 8 4 6. King Queen 8 rainbow.
Are you looking at it in Pio?
Yeah, I'm looking at it in my
All right,
library right now
I'm
because I'm confused and I'm curious.
I'm gonna move on. All right, we're gonna move on to the next hand because we don't expect to see this that much. King 9-6 again. We showed before that this is supposed to be an overbet. Ace 3 here. We might lead this board even with this ace 3. Sometimes it's definitely a lead.
I
for
don't
us.
think we lead this board. It's not connected enough.
Okay.
Maybe some very low frequency. But
We'll call that 0%. All right.
yeah.
This should be a fold with the deuce. Don't think this is strong enough.
Ace 3. Well, it's also an interesting spot in terms of the board isn't very good for him. And because the board's not very good for him EV wise, he's not going to be able to barrel a lot of turns. So we do realize equity better. Like if this board is better for him on the flop, say
Yeah.
I don't know, king 10-5, he'll be able to barrel a lot more aggressively than on 8-7-2. So we realize equity better is a call and overfold less.
But here's the other thing here. If this goes check check on the turn, we almost always have to bet this on the river. Unless we hit something.
No, we have some showdown value sometimes.
Okay, so the ace 3 is a fold here. So I don't think we have showdown value with this
Okay,
hand.
yeah.
I don't think we do.
If it goes check check turn, well, it depends on the run out. But
I'm gonna put a 5 out here. Do
Sure.
get some leads. Check, check. And then, like, I think ace 3 with a heart here is always gonna have to fold. I'm gonna put what's not gonna be like too good for.
could put out a board pair. That's pretty neutral.
All right, deuce. Let me just make it an offsuit.
Don't think we need to bluff ace 3 on that.
I think ace 3 is gonna have to bluff. Okay. What if the board doesn't pair?
Well, the idea is that I'm looking at a lot of his, queen 10, jack 10, those types of hands that are
Yeah.
gonna bet.
Yeah, but now look at ace 3.
Okay.
The board pair
Yeah.
might just freeze us though.
Do we still have showdown value with ace 3? I suspect we have to, because this bluff is going to be profitable. It's going to be a plus EV bluff, so for it to be mixing, yeah, it's going to have some amount of showdown value, but still.
Maybe our value goes up when the board pairs with the deuce. Maybe that could be the reason why. We don't. Yeah, our value goes up with the check line. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's go on to the next hand. Fold. Okay.
God damn it, my sim's actually saying the same line.
So this will check raise about 50% of the time.
Bottom 2 on jack 10-5. Sure.
All right,
I mean, it doesn't really matter, but around maybe 2/3 of the time.
Yeah, definitely just raise this. Closer to 3/4, so raise.
3/4, yeah.
Hands over. Should be a call here. Don't think we ever get to raise. I can't imagine raising this. Okay, the question is
small sevens. No, I don't think so.
Just curious. Yeah, all right. Should be a check fold often.
On this turn, definitely a check fold, yeah. Ooh, cool check raising candidate. Love it. Let's go.
I think this is going to be often here. Okay.
Not that often.
Probably want the back door more.
Yeah, I think definitely having hearts is going to be really
But
good.
it's everything in here though, right? So it's all the 5 deuce, 4s, 3s, even deuces, some.
A bunch of sets and 2 pair blockers with great equity.
Yeah, everything in here. Well, if we're betting here, I think it's an overbet.
This is. I'd probably use pot just because this SPR is a little weird, but sure, overbet seems fine.
I'm gonna go.
I'd give this one up.
I'm gonna go 125 for a 79.
125 seems reasonable.
Okay.
I'd give this one up though.
It goes 60. It goes 75.
It goes 75. Yeah, wait, sorry, it's not loading for me quite yet.
Okay. Yeah, I went 75. Let me just look at the reports. I just want to see the turn report. I'm in the right spot, right? Okay. When do we go over bets? Okay, it wants to be the lower cards.
It's also just not using that many overbets because that leaves a really small SPR for the river here. Like we're polar, it's just trying to go relatively geometric. And it's a weird SPR. Like what would geometric be here? Something like 85%?
No, we're single raise pot. Probably have to go fairly large, right? Oh no,
To be
maybe you're right.
geometric here?
Oh yeah. 85% is
No.
probably right. Yeah,
Actually, we have an SPR of pot.
yeah, because we went pot on the flop.
Oh,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Seems like most of check raise spots end up cascading error. Lots of studying needed to fully realize equity. What are you saying? You think that check raise spots lead to more errors? Just
No, I think he's saying that we're punting all of these spots. Not wrong for the record. And therefore, lots of cascading error.
The only thing with that is like if I do take an overbet there on the turn, it's probably not like terrible, right? Like if I that's the thing, right? Like I'm losing 0.3, you know, big blinds 0.2. It's not like the absolute worst. Dude, I don't know what to do anytime I do anything, you know, like it's not like you know
Not unique to check racing. Everything's just a guess.
yeah. So I mean,
So if you're guessing at everything, may as well take the aggressive line. Right?
yeah. I mean, the thing is, it's not like terrible, right? Like, I'm not like this. This play is still a winning play, right? Like if I bet here, it's not winning as much.
In
And
fairness, you also just do have a pretty sizable range advantage.
I think in practice here, maybe always giving up, but I think this is gonna want to bet again, and I think it's probably gonna shove.
I would have given up turn. Now that we get to this river after a bet 75, probably a give up because he might need to fold some two pair with a 4.
This
That's a
combo is always
jam.
a shove. Pretty much all of them are. Very bottom.
What is he folding to a shove?
A lot.
Strictly out of interest, though, he is actually folding some ace-4, which was what I thought and why I didn't want to jam this. But apparently that's just irrelevant anyway. Oh, I guess he's calling down 5-4. Oh, and pocket 4s. He has no pocket 5s in this line? How's the only set he really has much of in this line 4s?
Probably has to do turn play. There it is.
Wait, isn't that flops? That's a bunch of flop 3-bets with pocket 5s?
No, this is turn.
Or no turn, there we go. Yeah, so flop 3-bets and then turn pure raise.
What's up, Mike?
And
Yes.
4s doesn't.
Saquon, bro. I love that casino. Want to head out there? I always go there. I got to move out to San Diego one day. Yeah, so just jamming all of this. Well, 7-6 is easy jam now, but yep, just all of this garbage.
That's very interesting.
Okay. Sounds like my dog
Okay.
is. Are you picking up my wife by any chance? I don't think they're picking her up on stream.
No.
Okay. I don't know how I wasn't supposed to check here, but whatever. Next hand. Calling.
Queen 8-7, ace jack, no backdoor flush draw. Feels close. Sure.
I think the bottom is going to be like ace-9 here. I don't think we'll get ace-6. Oh, I'm surprised it splits.
Yeah, this feels really close.
So ace-9 off. Needs a spade. Okay. guess it's just a texture. Do we have a lead? Do we have leads on this range? Is that why?
No,
no,
not
we
on
don't.
Queen A7, no leads.
Yeah, like I was wondering why. I thought Ace Jack would have called more. Oh, I guess it was just. Okay. Okay. Check. I think this hand will fall into a check line here on the river, even with the spade coming in. I think it's just.
Ace-
I think it's just too good.
Yeah, fine. I think we can check this down.
Yeah.
I don't think we have all that much showdown value in that line, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, some,
But
but not all that much.
like Ace 5 here. Ace 4. Is there anything like Ace? I'm surprised Ace 6. Okay.
How much of that are you continuing on the flop, though?
Ace 6. A lot of it, I'm sure. Oh, half.
As a call, not that much.
Yeah, not that much. Maybe a third of it. Fold. Easy game.
You really love your leads, don't you? That was one that we would have played a lead.
I'm trying to find more of them, but I don't think this hand, right? You think this hand?
What on 7-5-4? Sure, don't mind leading that sometimes at equilibrium, of course. Slow overcard. Sure, we have no backdoor flush draw. But it's still just slow overcards.
We need the
Oh,
spade.
we need the backdoor flush draw. Fine.
All right, so fold next hand. Yeah, I'm just trying to find more leads. I think this is similar to that king hand we played before. I think we might find some check raises here. I think this hand I'm going to play as a pure call. Like I'm going to simplify here to having like a backdoor go with it.
It's also an interesting spot in terms of Button's going to be playing a lot of big C bets on this flop.
Like I'd really like to check raise something like 10-3 of hearts here, you know?
Versus small. I mean, pretty much all of his overpairs are just going to be going big.
Yeah.
Almost always. Maybe not aces.
Yeah.
But going big almost always. So 10x is.
So like 10-9, right? Like
true.
10-9 is finding some, like this is kind of like, what do you think? Maybe like the bottom of our check raising range here. Like I rather check raise something like 10-3 or something, you know? 10-5 does it. So this is the same idea, like 10-5. Some of this backdoor stuff. I like it. I like it better than the
10-3.
I was thinking-
10-3 has the disadvantage that if you check 10-3 and hit a 3, he can hit 5-6 suited.
Okay.
So there is some negative effect there.
But 10-5, 10-6.
10-5.
Same
Those
same
are-
kind of idea.
No, because he doesn't have 5-3 suited or 6-3 suited in the button opening range. So he can't hit a straight when you hit
You
those
should
two
have
pairs.
5-3.
He shouldn't have 5-3 or 6-3. But yeah, he can open 5-6, right? Which does hit on the when you check his 10-3.
I'm opening too wide. I'm opening 5-3 like always. This was in my old range and it's like still stuck in my head.
You have a HUD, you can open 80% of your range versus some of
True.
that pool.
Hold on. Hold on.
Sorry, chat. I have nothing to talk about, so.
Guys, give me 5 minutes. Guys, 5 more minutes. I'm doing something with I have gardeners here. They're like trying to give me grass and everything else. So just give me 2 more minutes because they're like running the sprinklers. They finished earlier than I thought they would.
Steve Warburton gets €941,613. John Joanda collects more than $1 million. He's the EPT 12 Barcelona champ.
John Joanda, you've finished second in an EPT high roller, second in an EPT main event. You've won so much in your career. You've finally won an EPT main event. Does this actually mean anything to you at this point?
Oh yeah, it means a lot to me. I mean, I've been playing poker for 18 years now, but you know, every time you win a big tournament of this magnitude, it's still, you know, you still get the rush, you know.
There it is, everybody. Let's get a big round of applause for EPT 12 main event champion John Joanda.
So John Joanda wins the biggest EPT of all time, overcoming a field of nearly 1,700 players to take the first trophy of Season 12.
John Joanda.
Day you called, the sun was big and low to the ground. The cold, it froze my fingers tight.
When I arrive in Heads Up, I only want the trophy and the title because I know it's very important for the rest of my career. Being a EPT champion can change your life. It's so incredible.
You won't ever feel the way this hurts.
The PokerStars.com European Poker Tour is back in the Mediterranean as we visit a beautiful archipelago steeped in history. These islands have provided the stage for some of the world's greatest battles, and this week host the ultimate contest of competitive minds. Welcome to Malta and the second leg of EPT Season 12. It's the final day of the 5K main event. We started with 651 runners, and now just 6 remain.
For Reina Kempa, this is his second main event final table in a row. For Neil, don't call me Niall Farrell, this is his first final table, but he has come oh so close in the past. The leader of the pack, Alan Bilic, a man some are calling the Bosnian Phil Ivey.
Who's calling him that?
I am.
The online pro comes into today with the chip lead and is certainly the favourite to take down the trophy and the top prize of €600,000.
I've done this many times online and now it's time to do it live as well.
With Neil Farrell's chip stack and aggressive playing style, he's certain to keep the other players on edge.
I have a reputation as an absolute maniac, so hopefully that works to my advantage.
Yaroslav Sikora will have fond memories of Malta, finishing second here in the Italian Poker Tour main event. He'll be looking to go one further today. With a fifth place finish already this season, Rainer Kemper will hope his experience can get him to the top.
I made 2 EPT final tables in a row. This time I'm looking forward to winning the title.
Born in Italy and now residing in Malta, Giulio Spampanato hopes that being a short stack won't stop him doing his home nation proud.
No prisoners today. I represent Italy and I want to do my best for my country.
And fresh off his World Series bracelet win in the summer, Sam Greenwood is arguably the most seasoned pro at the final table.
I'm coming in as one of the short stacks, but I feel I'm the most experienced and talented player at the table, and I'm ready to win this.
Final table time at the Portomasso Casino. Cards are in the air. The blinds, 30,000, 60,000, with a 10,000 ante. Action on Giulio Spampanato.
Spampanado's a pimpanato. He's an amateur who won his way in via €500 live satellite.
He's folded. Chip leader Alan Bielich has passed. Yaroslav Sikora, a player with a lot of online success. Queen 9 suited in the cutoff. He raises. Round to the big blind. Short stack Sam Greenwood. And he defends with Queen 3 of clubs.
I think, given time, the Greenwood brothers could be the most famous Canadian brothers since the Mackenzies.
Well, Greenwood has flopped the nut flush draw. Not much for Sikora to get excited about, but he's going to continue.
From domination to statistical dog. Damn you flush draws.
Sikora's C-bet is 110,000.
Sam's got a call, but let me tell you something. Flush draws, they're the coward's way out.
Greenwood calls. The turn card is the King of Diamonds pairing the board. Decent chance of a chop now. Sikora officially still ahead with Queen 9 high. And the action goes check, check. 5 of hearts on the river. Queen 9 still the best hand. Greenwood checks for a third time.
Even though I know Sikora has the best hand, I'm not so sure about a bet here. I'm assuming a bet would be a bluff because nothing worse could call, but I'm not sure how many better hands would fold.
Well, here it comes. Sikora will bluff with the best of it. 325,000.
He can be pretty confident Sam doesn't have an ace or a king, or he wouldn't have checked, but I just don't know if Sam's going to be folding any pair here.
I'm slightly surprised that Sam hasn't already folded.
Hey, maybe Sam pays him off with the worst queen, and I look like a total jabroni.
Is he genuinely considering calling?
This is a Neil call.
He's sitting right there.
Show one if I fold?
Those Greenwoods and their show one antics. Floor! Look how hard he's thinking about calling with queen high. No way he folds a pair. This is how good these guys are as poker players. Just sick about folding queen high.
Greenwood finally lays it down. And Sikora has no idea that he actually wanted a call there.
More like Yaroslav's sick bluff with the best hand.
So everyone at this final table is now guaranteed 125,000 euros. For whoever wins today, it'll be the biggest cash of their career.
Plus that special bonus prize of dinner for 6 at the Malta Chili Co. with unlimited trips to the Fixins Bar.
That's not actually a thing. Well, after losing that hand to Sikora, Sam Greenwood is even shorter. He's under the gun. With 5s, he might make a move here. Just a standard open to 150,000. Spampanato folds. Bielich folds, accidentally exposing a deuce.
You're stuck yet. 9-10.
Dan, are you still with me?
Cora on the button.
Dan?
Now he looks at his
Yeah.
hand.
Okay.
Pocket tens.
Well, I don't see
We'll
how
let the
this
hand
dude won't
finish.
get it in.
Sorry, guys.
And that should be Yaroslav's goal right now, to get the rest of Sam's chips into the middle.
A 3-bet to
I
induce
wasn't watching the hand,
275,000.
but not sure what. Button
Neil
under
Farrell
the
is on the
gun.
small blind and has ace king.
Well, this puts a whole new
Oh, I
paint job
see.
on things. A ginger paint job, but that's besides the point.
Good old-fashioned
both
Poker
players
Stars
covered.
highlights where we get an ace king versus 10 spree.
And he shoves on them. Rainer Kemper gives up the big blind. Back on Greenwood. He folds the fives.
And this is a pretty sick spot for tens. It's not a stellar hand against Neil's range here.
How many big blinds is this?
It's pretty unlikely he's going to show up with a bluff. But it's also unlikely
I
he's doing
don't
this
quite
with
know. I
nines.
wasn't paying attention.
Doesn't leave a whole lot of hands Sakura's doing well against.
He's also thinking about the pay jumps.
I want to say the original guy opened to 50k.
A couple of shorter stacks
So
out there.
maybe 10, 20.
Let's
If it was
go.
10, 20,
Nice
that would have
squeeze,
been
Neil.
100 bigs.
Holding tens. Okay. I didn't think that was allowed in tournaments. Sorry, guys. Sorry about that. All the gardening work, he needed to do some of the irrigation. I thought they were going to finish in like an hour from now. So I thought I was going to like fit into here perfect. But of course, it didn't work out that way. All right, let's go to the next hand because I don't remember what happened. Leads on
Yeah.
this board, definitely, right?
Yes, we're going to have some leads here, but
Okay.
probably not this hand. This doesn't seem like a great one to
It's
go
definitely
with.
it's definitely hard finding like these unintuitive leads, right? Like there's definitely
It's a lot
some of
of-
them. I'm surprised we don't have more leads here.
On this flop, so am I.
Just change this to
Interesting.
see what we get.
Oh, well, now it's going to be a ton.
Yeah. Okay. Just making sure like there's none of these like unintuitive. Sometimes there's some like there can be like unintuitive leads, you know.
Yeah.
Should be a fold. You want to go for like another half hour here?
Sure.
Check raise for 93. Yes.
I mean, we definitely need to be putting some flushes into our check call range here. But on a 93, yeah.
Mostly. Let's see what, like, if there's like hands that fit nicer into it. Like, yeah, some of the lower flushes. I think we can like eliminate some of these raises and just, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. It also
But-
just depends on the player, right? Like, versus
Yeah.
some players, this is going to overperform in a raising line versus others, it'll overperform in a calling line, right?
Yeah. So like if we notice like ace 10 almost never raises and then ace 3, this just has to do with like blocking like our opponent's flushes. So all right. All right, I can hear my wife. Hold- We bought a house, and for whatever reason, we don't close the doors to the rooms when she's in a meeting. Like, she wants to hear me still. I don't get it. It was like, oh, I have an office, you know, you won't intrude. It's like, you still have your door open. All right. Folding always?
Probably just fold queen 10. Yeah. It's close. I think queen jack could continue. At least sometimes.
I think this is almost always a raise. Well, maybe not this hand. But I'm raising
Don't
it.
mind raising this.
All right. I wonder if it's the hearts that. Nope. Okay. I thought maybe. Probably just because it's the king high board. Should be polar here.
On a 7? Yeah, I don't mind just overbetting this.
I wonder if we allow if we get checks here. If it does like one of those like 250% pot things, I like, you know.
It's not. We're not on an SPR where it's going to go 250. Yeah.
I mean, it, you know, 75, whatever. Some checks here, but probably turn into check raises. Maybe check calls. I just want to see. Most common size taken. All. And yeah. Splitting. Fours here.
Just peeling it. I don't think I'm ever raising this.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think a spade ever raises?
I'd say no. I'd rather just raise deuce X.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes for a better more outs, right?
Yeah.
Should be a
Also
check.
has better blockers.
Yeah, that's true as well. All right.
So what was this one? Was check, check, turn, we check river. Fold.
Yeah. All right, so let's do something we're not supposed to do. You want to do something interesting? There's not that many people in here.
Sure.
Actually, maybe we can all right, whatever. Let's do something we're not supposed to do for like a half an hour. We'll play for a little bit.
Oh, that sounds like fun. And I'll berate all of your plays and tell you why I hate all of them.
Sure, but don't comment on any of the plays until after the hand is
Until
done.
the end of the hand, right? We're not going to break TOS.
All right. So I'm wondering, I don't even know how to put card covers, but there's only 4 people in here and we're going to be in the blitz pool, so whatever.
Oh, damn, we're going to do this live. This will be fun. So chat gets to berate your play with me live. Oh, that is great.
We're not going to do this for too long because...
You don't want to punt off all of your money?
Yeah. All right, so we'll play for, I don't know, how about we go to like 3:20? That sound all right? Still have enough
sounds
time?
good to me.
Okay.
Yeah, I have plenty of time.
All right. All right, that should be all right. You know what? It is me. This sounds staticky too.
Yeah, I think your Wi-Fi is struggling a little bit because even on Discord it says low video or audio quality due to network conditions.
It definitely shouldn't be. I'm hardwired in. Let me just do a test.
It's strange.
Gonna fold this.
Oh, we're playing HUDless, I see. Oh no, there's a HUD. It's just not very.
My download is almost 300. And we are allowed to call this some, and my upload's almost 300. I don't know why I'm struggling. My upload is 320.
Strange.
Yeah, it is strange. All right. Make sure I don't close this. We'll just put like a little music on the side. So you haven't played in like a month?
I have not played in like a month.
Crazy.
That's correct.
This is gonna be
Google Fi, a phone plan by Google. Get Simply Unlimited, our most affordable unlimited plan with
Oh, wow.
35 gigabytes of high-speed data.
Sorry. How's that for you?
That's good. It's actually faster now.
No, the background noise is okay?
Oh, I don't hear anything.
Okay. Maybe just coming through Ace King.
Good hand. and we get no action.
Regular then. Or
Yeah.
it could be all in.
That's also a possibility.
All right, we might be all in.
Oh, here we go.
So
Ace of 3-bet,
11.5,
interesting.
go to like 26. 3-bet's percentage is small, but this hand still performs well enough.
Like the small 4-bet size. We're in position, want to give him as unattractive of a price on a 5-bet jam as we can.
Another ace king.
Still a good hand.
So we have 2,000 hands on this player. All right, that's great. Complete unknown. Yeah, we're gonna call. Interesting stat I have on this player: over 2,000 hands. He folds almost 75% of the time to 3-bets, but everything else looks like pretty much
That is
pretty.
very, very high.
Yeah.
Strange.
And it's a 2,000 hand sample, you know, like it's getting fairly large. Lose like half a big blind there. Not terrible.
It's a tough spot with ace king facing the
Yeah.
4-bet jam.
I don't think we have a choice there against an unknown.
But against an unknown, you mean there might be some amount of spazzes in that range.
Yeah,
as
for sure.
opposed to it just being solid, then yeah. Out of curiosity, just on the spot, had you been the original raiser, right? Let's say you RFI ace king, get 3-bet cold 4-bet jam.
I think it's still a call.
Still a call. Okay.
If we're suited, it's
It's a little-
1,000% a call. If we're not, it starts to depend on positions. We might be a little too early.
Yeah, it seems
'Cause
close.
it
I
was-
think I would have folded ace king off as the original raiser.
Because it was
but
hijack, cut
yeah.
off, small blind, right?
I can check it. I don't have
Yeah, you could check.
any software open, so hijack open, cut off 3-bet, small blind, cold 4-bet jam.
So usually either calling or raising here would be fine. But given how tight this player is and the size, I think folding here is actually going to be... No, folding here feels a little too nitty. We're going to take a raise.
I just didn't want to see a call. I was fine with anything else.
I was really thinking about folding. Given our cold caller here and the tightness of this player, I think I'm gonna just check this back. Kind of just give up here. We do have some backdoor equity to realize, but I think it's going to be hard to get a fold here. And we get led into, which I don't hate. I'm going to fold this hand. What do you think there, Dan, about checking? See, like-
Back if it had been checked to us,
Yeah.
definitely don't mind it. Yeah.
Okay. Looks like we would have been making the right decision. Okay.
Yeah. For the record, just checking the previous spot, yeah, as the original raiser, both ace king suited and offsuit is a fold.
Okay.
As the 3-better, ace king suited is a 4 big blind call, and ace king off is a pure fold, losing 0.8 bigs
Okay.
versus the frequencies presented in that range, right? The cold 4-bet jamming range is a sliver of queens and then some kings and a lot of ace king off. But just the frequencies that comprise that range, right? The frequencies of each hand make it for ace king off to be, you know, not a profitable call. If he's jamming too few kings or too much ace king, it's going to become profitable. So super close anyway, right?
Yeah. So what do you think about like joining me on stream one day, like play one table of Zoom? Or Blitz, I mean.
Playing one table of Zoom, me or you?
Either way.
Either way, actually, I don't mind. Sure, I'd be down to do that.
Just deciding on sizing here. If we get raised, I'm gonna jam. And I'm actually thinking about how much of his range is comprised of like hands that are going to want to bluff now. And even though I do have the queen of diamonds, I think I am going to just check here to check call. Unfortunately, checks back. Ooh. Dan? Did I lose you?
I mean, no, I'm still here.
Okay.
Yeah. It kind of sucks because as soon as he checks, you know he has pocket jacks. You just know it, right? Like even before you see the hand, it's the snap check back is just pocket jacks every time.
Yeah. But the question is like, is checking there my best line?
It is actually a really tough spot. It's starting to get pretty thin to jam, right?
He actually finds the one ace 4 that I don't want to continue with. We can look at that hand in Wizard after.
Yeah, that did seem like a very interesting one.
I'm gonna fold this. It's the only ace 4 I was gonna fold. Other ace king.
A lot of ace king.
Let's see who's streaming. I think Komodo's probably live.
He is.
I'm gonna just jam this. It's a player we have marked purple. Since we have the option to do it, player we have marked as a rec, and he went to this bigger size than I tend to like. I'm gonna just go like this.
Yeah, the bigger size gives us a better price on that 4-bet jam, so.
Darius is live.
And now multi-way.
Okay. I'm gonna just get that ready. Ace 5 off. I believe does some raising, no RNG right now. Let me just pull one up. I will call this time.
Wow, not finding the 3-bet for the stream. Disappointing.
Rolled a 75.
Fair enough.
Gonna just find a call here. I mean, I'd have to bluff like even like Jack and 9x probably. But I think
Yeah, I
finding
do
a bet
think
there
you
is
need
fine.
to start turning a bunch of pairs into bluffs there. Yeah, no, I like your line. That queen's hand is still stuck in my mind. River
Oh.
decision seems very, very close.
Yeah, we'll look at it. I'm assuming he's going to bluff some of his misdraws there, right? Like, I need him to do that.
Yeah, well, at equilibrium he will, but... Oh.
He should
His
pretty
range
much
is-
lead his range here.
7-6-3. He should lead a lot. Don't know if it's quite range.
I'm going to check this back. Ooh. Didn't expect that, did you?
No, I did not. Spicy pre-flop flat.
Oh my god. I should mark that, but I'm not gonna.
I do like your line though. We can't have that many bluffs there, and we have the nut worse suits to bluff.
I'm just curious about my betting strategy on the flop. Oh, that's enough. We can look at that one too, real quick. Just like
On 7-6-3,
yeah, we'll barrel through it.
my guess would be if he's playing an appropriate leading strategy, small better check, and not betting all that often, maybe half the time. If he's leading correctly.
Okay. He jams here. I'm actually okay with folding this hand. Oh, we were 4-bet pot? This still probably isn't terrible. Wow. Nice. Get there again, please? Please do it. Thank you. Fuck off. Bet there probably should have been 50% pot. I forgot I 4-bet for a second. You think?
I have no clue. I don't study 4-bet strategies. Honestly, when I saw that flop, I was considering an open jam.
I had
be fine.
I had a brain fart. I was like caught between two thoughts there. We actually have 3 hands to go over. I think the bet there is 50%.
50% does seem like a very reasonable size. I wouldn't be surprised if there was some open jamming though.
I don't know if we get it on that board. A6 is an interesting call there, huh?
Yeah, that one was spicy.
Like I get ace 5, ace 4, you know? Like having that in range and then
Yeah.
calling, like, yeah, sure. E6.
I mean,
is-
A6 pre is probably a mix of 3-bet, fold, call.
Yeah.
That I think's probably fine.
Yeah. And it depends what your strategy is. If you're, you know, if you're just 3-betting on the button, I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But
Calling the 4-bet is spicy. For sure.
so we are going to bet this like half the time. Like we are. Okay, so I'm going to find a bet here. This we're going to kind of just barrel if hearts continue to come, so that's not really a good card. I'm wondering if I should slow down now. I think now this makes me want to just check here. I think we're just pure giving up. And of course we hit the Miracle 3 on the end.
Naturally.
We're gonna raise anything, obviously. But this looks like it's a jack, right? Like, I don't think it really matters. I mean, we have to raise, right? But
Yeah. I'm not sure if the half is repping a jack or repping a weak ace. I think it's close. Yeah, Mike says in chat, I think jacks is indifferent in that spot. Are you talking versus what action? Versus the flop jam, pre-flop?
well, at least we're winning something.
There you go, streaming live on Twitch, no delay, and still beating the 50 Zoom pool.
I didn't know this was the way to do it, though. You know, that's been the problem. I've been on a delay the whole time. People have had to guess.
Screwing everything up.
People have had to guess what I'm doing.
Yeah, you gotta show them. Tell them your hand. Post when it's on us. I think we can do anything from check to overshove. Yeah, that's possible.
Yeah, we're gonna check. Just gonna play for another 5 minutes.
4-bit pots are not something I know much about. It's hard for me to say.
Ace-9's like annoying here because like in the small blind when we raise it, it's just like outside of the range where we get to 4-bet. Like
I see, yeah.
It's like a pretty good hand, but we just have to give it up. And you know, we can't 3-bet it. It's just like
You could. It's a little spicy, but you could.
a little outside the range. I mean, again, if we are checking HUD stats,
versus that guy you said with what, a 60% fold to 3-bet?
75 almost. It's
75% fold to 3-bet
Yeah.
versus that guy, you could definitely make it a profitable.
I know. It's crazy. This is a great table.
Yeah.
These two guys
What
aren't
is the
going to get
fold
bumped.
to 3-bet stats supposed to be pre again?
I think for 500.
Somewhere around 50?
Yeah, for 500 it's supposed to be right around 50. For 50 it gets tighter though.
Got it. Although that's at equilibrium, I think a lot of people will be overfolding to pools 3-bets.
When I was playing 500 ranges, I was pretty close.
Ooh, another good hand. What's the blue tag out of interest?
Limp. Like I saw them limp.
Got it. Do we fold 9-4 suited to a small blind open?
We could double check it.
That seems incredibly tight to me. But then I'm a maniac, so who knows?
It's definitely not a fold at 500.
Had 500 three-way indifference. Interesting.
Yeah, so then it's probably a fold at 50. All right, I'm going to start getting ready to sit out here. This should be a fold. I think.
Yeah, it is a fold at 50. Oh, it's losing 0.06 bigs to call. That is nothing.
Hey. All right. Sevens.
Ooh, good hand.
We're gonna call here. Usually a fold. Low c-bet frequency. This should still be a fold to a small bet, I believe. I'm gonna say it's a fold. If it's not always a fold, it's mostly a fold. What do you think
I
there?
think with the spade, it's probably indifferent. I think no spade clear fold with a spade feels close.
Pull that up too. We'll rifle through some of the hands real quick, like those spots that are like yes or no.
Yeah. Ace-9 suited and of hearts too, such a pretty hand.
Yeah. This is a low frequency 3-bet, but we would have did it for the stream, but King
This
5
is why you
is
play flatting ranges out of the small blind. So you can play more hands.
just makes the strategy more complicated.
Yeah, but it means you have to fold less. That's
Yeah, I shouldn't have folded there. We were so deep. I should have probably 3-bet actually.
weird fold into what I didn't see it.
The threes on the button versus the low jack open. Let's actually
Also
just
flat it.
Yeah, flat it seems fine. All right, actually let's just take a quick look. Let me see what threes does there. 200 deep. Hey, we'll stay on 500. Yeah, sometimes. All right. All right, let's look at, okay, first hand here is the sevens. These positions. Let me just make sure we're on the right stack depth. And we're gonna do 2.5. We're gonna stay on 500 just because we're a baller. Should
Sounds good.
still indifferent, and then no leads. Not that I'd be playing one on that.
No.
Okay, still fine. And we had the club.
Yeah, indifferent with the spade. Fold without.
Yeah, okay. All right, so that first one was fine enough. All right, what was this? Oh, this was the 4-bet hand. This is going to be interesting.
Oh, that's yeah.
You want to save this one? Last one?
No, it's up to you.
Because I think the other ones were just like straight rifle through spots. So we
Well, the
three.
Queens one is also going to be interesting.
Oh yeah. So we
This
bet
one.
half. Yeah, we bet half both times. So hijack opened. We raised in the small blind. Hijack called. See what that looks like. Standard. Was determining sizing here.
I like half pot.
Okay. It doesn't care. Queens prefers a slightly bigger bet, but half
Yeah,
pot is
but
fine.
yeah,
Let's
you can
just
probably just simplify to half or check. That's what I would have likely done.
let's just take a look at the turn report here. We did get a deuce of clubs, which again. So on the hearts, we start to get all these jams, which is pretty common.
It's the double flush draw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we do get blankiest of blanks. And I imagine it's not going to hate my play. It hates the size. Not terribly, though. Oh, it doesn't hate the size. Because we had hearts, diamonds. Surprising, we go... Oh, no, not surprising. I'm sorry. I'm screwing up the whatever these are called, suits in my head. All right, so we go 50%. Still fine. Get called. And then, actually, just look at how much Jax is raising here. Right? So he almost doesn't have... These are just good enough to get it in.
Then Queens probably just needs to check back river. Unless it's jamming. No way. Can it jam? Ugh, that seems too thin.
To jam ourselves?
Yeah.
On the turn? I just feel like...
No, on the river I'm talking.
Oh, on the river?
The Queens on the river. Yeah,
I don't know. Yeah, it wants to always bet.
It does. Yeah.
But we're betting almost everything that I bet on the turn. Okay. Let's just see if I check here, though, what he has in range.
I'm a little surprised because I figured he'd be so condensed towards hands like exactly tens. Yeah, and he has so much pocket tens.
He's supposed to bet
And
the
yeah, we
jacks,
can
too. But I need him to bluff this stuff, right? Like, I was hoping he was going to have a lot of this. And he was going to bluff it.
Yeah.
But if I
You
jam
can
my...
still value jam that. Oh my god.
Let's see. Let me just see what the difference is.
What is the EV on a jam? I'm intrigued as well.
I lost 4 big blinds.
70. Well, at equilibrium, you lose 4 big blinds. If he's not jamming jacks, it's going to be more, right?
Yeah.
Because you're not getting the value from that. So there are going to be some differences, but. That is shocking to me. I didn't think we'd be able to value jam that. It felt too thin.
All right. Maybe a mistake.
Very strange.
All right. What was this hand again?
Which one? This was. Oh, you were curious what the flop
Oh,
C betting
yeah.
strategy is. I'm guessing small half the time if he plays a donkey range.
All right. I guess we could look at this both ways. I guess we'll pull up. So a lot of donks.
Yeah.
You said about half the time, right?
I said about half the time for small.
Yeah.
About half the time for small-ish. And it's close.
That's fine.
General concept was correct.
Okay. And then let's just look at this. The simple.
And now we're going to be range checking, likely. If not
Yeah.
very high frequency check.
which again maybe be more correct.
Could be if he's not docking appropriately.
But it takes a big bet, which makes sense because we don't bet that much, so we're more polar. So we do check, and let's just see what we do on the 4 of hearts here. Another check, yeah. Just a lot of betting. Wow, I'm surprised. If you go for the small size here, then it's probably just leading everything.
Yeah, it's a very good turn.
And then if he checks, all right. I mean, not terrible, but we should probably be betting here.
I mean, this is what I said in game, right? We have the nut worst suits to ever bluff. Because we had diamond club, right? That is not worst suit. That's why I didn't mind the give up.
Check, and then yeah, we're supposed to bet now, but he had ace king, so you know, whatever. All right, last hand.
It's interesting. Yeah. Because I think more of his hearts and spades will be betting, right? So when we have clubs, diamonds, it blocks his air that's going to fold on the river. So that's less valuable.
All right, so we have a hand here, 4-bet. We 4-bet in the hijack button.
This one's spicy.
So this is going to be... This is going to place... Our pre-flop here is going to be significantly different with jacks here if we're at 50, right? Because we're more concerned with rakes, so we are going to do more raising, right? So I'm going to just...
At 500, it's still going to be a mix, though, between 4-bet and call.
Right, but we are going to... We should be raising significantly more. This is the 50 ranges, right? This is 66% of the time. I think it's going to drop. You know, those numbers might inverse.
Don't know how much it's going to drop, but yeah, I was going to guess maybe 40-50% 4-bet.
Okay, so it was actually less than I thought. So, okay,
40,
so...
yeah, 40-50%.
Yeah, very similar.
55, okay.
I think I rolled like maybe a 56 or something. So I did think it was going to be a higher percentage, but you know, not.
The jacks and 10s are kind of put into a tough spot, right? Because they don't love 4-bet getting it in. But at the same time, if you never 4-bet it, then button can just print with 3-bets because they just get to realize their equity so well.
Yeah.
Because you don't 4-bet enough.
I was off by about 10% here in my head. I was thinking this was about 2/3. So we do get
Not
called.
that it really makes much of a difference, though, right?
No.
But yeah.
All right, and we get called by ace. We'll count it as ace 7 here. Well, not that it really matters. We're really checking to see what our correct play is.
Do we play open gems? Do we play open gems?
I don't
Moment
think
of
so.
truth. I'm
Some of
curious. I have no clue.
Yeah, we do. 16%.
You do play some open gems. Okay. Yes.
So-
We'll take it.
I did say, I thought we were going to prefer 50% size here. This was a mistake on my part. I kind of got lost in a couple of thoughts in my mind, and I've done this too often recently. Queens is a jam, kings is a jam, ace king's a jam. 5. Jacks doesn't really care what we do.
Most of these hands don't.
We'll go like this. We'll jam. X should be an equal ball. Done. Yep. All right. All right. Yeah. Let's. Dan, thank you for joining me again. By the way, man, appreciate you.
Yeah, it was fun. I enjoyed every time.
All right. If you're still studying, I mean, I just need to work on my game, you know? And then, like, when we do stuff like this, I mean, like, these are two, like, we did 2 spots today that I feel pretty comfortable in, you know, like, the 3-bet stuff, those exact positions, and then button versus big blind. I feel like I've put a lot of work into those because I think they're fairly common, right?
That is definitely true. Yeah.
So, and then like, I mean, realistically, how off was I? Like if we were being pure, like maybe sizing here a little bit, but like the general ideas are pretty accurate, right?
Yeah, it seems solid overall.
So it's just a matter of like implementation in game.
Yeah.
I guess. I mean, I guess I'm just losing so much. Losing like something like I think I'm losing over like the last 120,000 hands. I think I'm losing like 4 big blinds per 100. I'd have to look.
I mean, it's tough. You kind of have gone back to how I used to play, of the more theory-oriented focus,
Yeah.
which is important, but at the same time, it might not even be enough in that pool, right? To just play theory well.
Yeah.
Like if you think about it, right? What's the rake at 50 and outplits? 10 bigs per 100?
Yeah.
Maybe
trying to show you
9,
guys that.
something like that. Yeah, it's going to be something big like that, regardless.
Is it that big?
Prime Dope will have their rate comparison. Hang on, I can check. Prime Dope rate comparison. They have it at 50 NL, fast fold, 6 players, ACR. Rake per player per 100 hands. They actually have it marked as 12 bigs per 100.
Wow.
Yeah. So when you're paying that much in rake,
What is
you
it
need
at
to be
200?
crushing.
What is
At
it at
200 NL blitz? It might not be accurate, but Prime Dope has it marked at 7.7 at 200. I mean, sure, you get rake back, right? But if you want to be beating the pool pre-rake back, you need to be crushing. Because I don't know if you upload your hands right to Wizard sometimes, with their hand upload feature.
Rarely. I've done it a few times.
But if you look at that, right, that's effectively how much Wizard strategy is beating you for, given how you played.
Yeah.
Not many people will have a gigantic number there, right? It's probably going to be less than 0.05 for most people. That's not that much.
Look at this stat though. Like one money at Showdown is 48%. This is the lowest it's ever been for me. I mean, this is a decent sample. Like this is almost 100,000 hands exactly, right?
That is a significant sample, yeah.
I mean, BPIP, PFR, all standard for me. A little lower than usual since I've switched over to tighter ranges, but not terribly far off. Maybe a couple percentage. 3-bet's been pretty consistent. One money when saw flop, that's fine. This number right here, crusher.
Yeah, I mean, the numbers look solid. I just think I've been converted over to the mindset of it's difficult to beat high rake unless you're actively exploiting pool.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe I need to just, what the thing is sometimes, and I've said this before, there's been a few spots where I go, okay, 4-bet pot, ace 10, hit top pair, I'm going broke here, right? But
No, you're not. Don't go broke.
But that's right. That's the thing. What happens is you study theory and you go, okay, I'm supposed to go broke here, right? And you're supposed to go broke here. But the thing is when you start really actively looking at it, you're like, there's no way anybody's finding enough bluffs here. And you know it because you mark yourself a maniac. And I think I'm a very aggressive player as well. And I'm going, I'm not finding enough bluffs here. So if I'm not finding enough bluffs here, and the people in this pool are tighter than me, then the correct play here is to always fold by the river.
Yeah.
So
and usually fold on earlier streets even.
Maybe. All right, man. Do you want to do this again maybe in the next few days? I might be around Friday if you have time.
We'll see for Friday. Friday is usually the day where if the weather's good, I'm going to be out golfing or on the driving range.
Nice.
But If the weather's not good, yeah, I'll almost certainly be free
Okay.
on Friday.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be Friday. It could be Saturday because Friday I might try to work overtime. So, I was just throwing out a day. I knew it wasn't at work. Now that I'm looking at my schedule, I'm thinking I gotta go see what the manpower looks like and whatnot. So,
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Keep in touch, and
okay.
if I'm free, definitely don't mind.
All right, man. I appreciate you guys. We're gonna send you over to the King Komodo. Hopefully, he's doing well again today. See you guys later. Peace. Delay. Oh, I forgot to hit this before, dude. This is like nice and awkward now for everybody. See ya.
Oh, right, you have to set the raid, right?
Yeah, it takes a few seconds.